as the lights are lighting up for the 2016 Belgian Grand Prix and it's underway. This is where the Williams strength come into play. Look how slowly Fernando Alonso's going. It's probably better off blown up, to be honest, because as we saw, that engine was providing Alonso with no power whatsoever. So with Valtteri Bottas in second, that was Nico Rosberg heading into the pits. So I'm the leader of the medium tyres. Verstappen, Button and Hamilton all seem to be doing the same strategy as me. As you can see, he couldn't even keep up to me, holding up both Mercedes drivers. He was doing a brilliant job, but there's Lewis Hamilton who's going to get by, and Nico Rosberg, just a few seconds later, is also going to overtake Max Verstappen. So as you can see, I'm a few seconds up the road. Both Mercedes drivers were battling so relentlessly that they couldn't catch up to me. I don't know actually when Hamilton pitted, but Nico Rosberg has snuck by. So, while I'm thinking about tyre strategy, Rosberg has taken the race lead off of me, and I'm on older tyres, so how can I possibly fight back? Carlos Sainz, his engine has gone now, no surprise. We saw how slow Nico Rosberg was into this corner previously. We're just going to have to try and edge past him. I mean, Rosberg going stupidly slowly, but that's Lewis Hamilton who's trying to make a move on his teammate. Will that work? I don't think it will, but they're still side by side going into the bus stop chicane. Now, I think Nico Rosberg has been able to retain second place, but crucially, I have been able to retain the race win at Spa-Francorchamps.
This is Formula One.
Right then guys, it's PSL here, and I'm here for part 13 of my F1 2016 Williams career mode here at a wet Monza, or at least wet for the time being, heading into the first practice session. Now looking at the laptops, Sauber and Ferrari have both bought a plethora of upgrades heading into the Italian Grand Prix, which is a slight concern, well, especially for Ferrari, because look at the vehicle performance comparison. Ferrari have now got the quickest car, Sauber are ahead of Renault, Haas and Manor, so Ferrari are the new team to watch out for. Sauber we can't discredit, but anyway, let's go straight into the qualifying report for the Italian Grand Prix. Qualifying at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza saw Jolyon Palmer have a shocking session as he finished in last. Both Toro Rosso drivers ended the session just ahead of Palmer, but still very surprisingly behind Felipe Nasr and both Manners with their much newer engines. Kevin Magnussen ended the second session also at the back, along with the other Sauber of Marcus Ericsson. Both Haas drivers made up the 7th row, just behind the former teammates of Jenson Button and Sergio Perez. Nathan Quinn, Max Verstappen and Nico Rosberg all ended the session on the soft tyres, so could have an advantage on race strategy. The final qualifying session ended with Alonso and Hülkenberg on the 5th row. Just ahead of them are Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. The 3rd row is made up by 2 of the soft tyre starters, Nico Rosberg and Nathan Quinn. Ricciardo and Bottas just missed out on yet another front row start, as this time Ferrari's upgrades heading into this Grand Prix worked wonders for them, as Kimi Raikkonen took second, while Sebastian Vettel will start the Italian Grand Prix from the best seat in the house. Right then guys, so here we are on the race strategy screen as always, and this time, unlike in practice, the sun is shining down on Monza. It's going to be a dry Grand Prix for the entirety of it, which is brilliant. What isn't brilliant is my qualifying position, down in 6th. I mean, Bottas is in 3rd, that's much better, that's kind of what I was hoping for. But we've got to look at it this way. Rosberg's in 5th, Hamilton in 7th. They're our 2 main championship rivals and we're in between them. Rosberg is on the soft tyres, just like me, so if it's anything like the previous Grand Prix, the race win is going to come down between me and Rosberg, just because that's how the race strategy seemed to have gone. So we've got to keep an eye out for Nico Rosberg and Max Verstappen also on the soft tyres. But anyway, the lights are lighting up for the 2016 Italian Grand Prix, and it's underway. Both rides have got off to a decent start, Bottas lurking behind and Ricciardo dropping back a bit. So going into the Rettifilo chicane, what are me and Rosberg going to do? This could be crucial for how the race plays out. So heading into the Rettifilo chicane, diving it up the inside of Nico Rosberg. Daniel Ricciardo, it looks like, going up towards the Curva Grande. We're going to get the exit on him. And yes, we've got past Daniel Ricciardo. Bottas has been able to take the race lead off of both Ferraris using that straight line speed. So Tifosi aren't going to be too happy about that. Both Ferraris in second and third, but both Williams are in first and fourth. So right now, I mean, I'm the leader of the soft tyre runners. Things are going alright so far. Lewis Hamilton, he's behind Max Verstappen, so his race is not going too well, especially as Verstappen is on the soft tyres. Hamilton on the super soft, so he's going to try and get past Max Verstappen heading into the Sky chicane, and he's actually dived it up the inside of not only Verstappen, but also Ricciardo and Rosberg. So that is a fantastic move from Hamilton. Clean, fair, and he's gained 3 places from it. So heading on to, I think, the third lap now, and, well, I'm struggling to keep up with both Ferraris because they're on the super softs, although them battling it out is helping me quite a lot. It's also helping out Bottas, who is already pulled out by quite a bit. So it looks like actually going around the Curva Grande, our straight line speed is really paying dividends here. We're going to try and dive it up the inside of both Ferraris, and I think we're just about able to do that, hopping up on the curb. And we got past Kimi Räikkönen. What about Sebastian Vettel, the main man for Ferrari, heading into the first Lesmo? He's going to try and hang it around the outside with his greater aerodynamics and the better tyres he's got on. Is he going to hold it around the outside the second Lesmo? He has just about held on, but now at straight line speed heading towards the Ascari chicane, and that is what we've got a lot of. So despite the less grippy tyres, despite the really low downforce setup I'm running, I'm in second place. But holding up a bit of a train, Lewis Hamilton is the guy who's really flying right now. He's in third place. I think that's going to be second heading into the Ascari chicane. He can just brake later on those super soft tyres, probably running a much higher downforce setup. Bottas is long gone. Look at him. He is miles away. Bottas is probably going to win this Grand Prix. Hamilton in second. He's going well right now. Both Ferraris. Apparently they've got the quickest car on the grid. They're down in fourth and fifth. We're going to try and repass Lewis Hamilton. I mean, I don't know if that really is going to work, although I think it might. We've got to give him the space, of course, heading towards the Curva Grande. We've got the inside line. We have retaken second place from Lewis Hamilton. We're back into a Williams 1-2. That is good. But I think what's become really clear right now is that our underlying pace isn't that good. Vettel and Hamilton came into the pits a lap before. Räikkönen is now coming into the pits. So all of those guys on their super soft tyres are going to get the undercut on me. Of course, you know, we're in it for the long run than the short run. Räikkönen on another set of super soft tyres, which is interesting. So, I mean, these guys we've got to be wary of, because Rosberg and Verstappen, they're doing the same strategy, but these guys, they're going to undercut us. It's quite clear that I don't really have great pace. Hamilton has maintained his advantage on Kimi Räikkönen, so has Sebastian Vettel, so not a great deal has changed down at the back. I think they're all on the super soft tyres, but obviously they're going to get the undercut on us, so yeah, things aren't looking too good. Nico Rosberg and Max Verstappen, they're going into the pits now. They're also going to get the undercut on me, and they're on the soft tyres. I mean, these are the guys I'm really keeping an eye on. Max Verstappen somehow ahead of Nico Rosberg. I don't know how he's done that, but either way, they're coming into the pits one lap before me, and that could completely destroy my race, although it depends what traffic these guys are going to come out into. Well, there's cars going by. There's a Ferrari, a Red Bull, and another Ferrari going by. Oh my word, Rosberg is in all sorts of traffic. He's behind a Force India and a Sauber. Verstappen, less so, but this could help us quite a lot, because there's a massive train, there's back markers, people dicing for positions everywhere. Whereas I'm in clean air. Lap 8, we're finally going to come into the pits. Bottas fitted on the medium tyres when he came in. Button, I believe, started the race on the medium tyres. Rio Haryanto is out of the Grand Prix. That's the least of my concern. But we're in third place right now. Make that fourth. Ericsson has already got by. But still fourth place. We're coming out of the pits right now. Oh no, there goes Räikkönen, Hamilton. Vettel, there we go. So, I mean, basically everyone who I was dicing position with, yeah, they've all got by right now. So we're down into 12th place. Amazingly, we're actually still ahead of Nico Rosberg, and he's the one who I'm most concerned about. We're going to see where the medium tyres take us. We might not stop again. That is going to be very ambitious, but we're going to see where the medium tyres can take us. Rio Haryanto, we saw he retired. There's no car around him, so yes, unsurprisingly, it's an engine failure. And that is parked in a very dangerous location. But amazingly, Charlie Whiting decided no safety car. Very surprising considering how trigger happy Charlie Whiting was to bring out the safety car in Hungary. Springs to mind, he brought the safety car out all the time. But anyway, 10th place. Now that some of the back markers I've got out of the way and have finally pitted, Ricciardo's still just up ahead. Rosberg's still just behind. They've still got the tyre advantage on us. And that's the thing we got to keep in mind, is we're in 10th place. That's going to, well, we're going to gain a few more places. Raikkonen's in the pits because obviously he fits on the super soft tyres. So I think once again Ferrari, their race strategy, much like in real life, has really destroyed them this Grand Prix. First and second in qualifying, they're way down the field now. I think Vettel is still up there, but not in a brilliant position considering the fact he has apparently got the quickest car on the grid. Daniel Ricciardo, I believe, is pitted, but Nico Rosberg right up alongside us. He's going to try and make a move. He was lurking behind for quite a while, but Nico Rosberg, he's taken 6th place off of us, and I think this is an effective 6th place. I don't think there's any other back markers ahead of us, so I'm down into 7th. A proper 7th. I mean, of course, race strategies have still yet to fully play out. We haven't even done half the Grand Prix yet. We're going around the Curva Grande. Once again, the straight line speed is going to play to our advantage. We're going to try and hold it around the outside of Nico Rosberg. Rosberg up on 2 wheels briefly. Yep, and his racing line has been massively compromised, and he's now under threat from Fernando Alonso. Heading into the first Lesmo, Fernando Alonso, no, it looks like he's not there, but Alonso has spun. So Fernando Alonso, who's looking quite good, he's out of it. Completely out of it. So Alonso just, you know, he took an opportunity presented itself, and he took it. So heading into the first Lesmo, quite rightly, tries to make a move down the inside, realises that isn't going to work, and then understeered into Nico Rosberg. And that's such a shame, because McLaren's pace was surprisingly good. Alonso was in contention for some points, as you saw, was, you know, not too far behind me and Rosberg, but his race has been destroyed. Button and Sainz still need to pit, so Bottas in first, Verstappen in effective second, Ricciardo third, and myself in effective fourth. So out of nowhere, the race has gone in Red Bull's advantage. So Red Bull have completely destroyed Ferrari, myself, both Mercedes drivers on race strategy, which is a concern. Carlos Sainz is now in the pit, and Jenson Button, I believe. So this is quite worrying, because Ricciardo wasn't too far behind. He wasn't too far ahead of me. He's now miles ahead. Nico Rosberg is now ahead of me. He's just dovered up the inside of me once again, and this is the problem. It was difficult to keep up with Daniel Ricciardo when he's on quicker tyres. Rosberg, he's now got the track position on us, and it's just difficult to keep up with Daniel Ricciardo when we're dicing with someone relentlessly. Ricciardo in 3rd place, ourselves in 4th, but this just isn't doing myself, or Rosberg to be fair actually, any favours, because Ricciardo's pulled away. He's long gone. We're not going to see him for the rest of the race unless Ricciardo's race strategy becomes very questionable from here on out. I believe he's in the pits, but I'm sure that won't be the last we'll see of him. Verstappen in 2nd, Rosberg in 3rd. This is worrying. Bottas has won the race. That's basically guaranteed. Verstappen is God knows how far up the road, and he's on the same tyres as me. Verstappen's doing the same strategy. Rosberg, as we saw, was once again trying to overtake me, so this is where it gets quite worrying. I mean, 3rd place is realistically the best I can hope for. Bedding into your sky chicane. Bottas is in the pits. Rosberg has just got by, and that's it. Long gone. That shows the lack of race pace we have. I mean, Rosberg is on the quicker tyres, he's on the quicker car. I think our setup has got too little downforce. And that's it, 4th place. Rosberg has long gone. But what I will say is lap 16, Rosberg's in the pits. So, I mean, lap 16, it wasn't too long ago that Bottas, that Rosberg passed us. So, he did. What I'm trying to say is that Rosberg has beaten us fair and square, basically, because he didn't pass us that long ago, and he already pulled out quite a big of a gap. Kimi Raikkonen, going strong, the race strategy screwed him over, and now his Ferrari engine has completely destroyed his race. So Raikkonen, second in qualifying, and he's out. And amazingly, even though the car's on the side of the track, once again, no safety car, no virtual safety car, nothing. Absolutely nothing from Charlie Whiting, which is a massive change. And we're up into 2nd place. Max Verstappen has pitted, so I think Verstappen is once again going to get the undercut on us, even though he's about 10 seconds ahead of me. But, yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. But we really did stretch out these medium tyres a long way, so much so that Jenson Button is now challenging me. That's how badly this race has gone for me. I mean, it hasn't gone dreadfully, but Button, as you can see, he's already passed me. So effectively, Button is, in a way, a pit stop ahead of me. You could think of it like that. So, I mean, as you can see, we came into the pits, Jenson Button's right behind us. Sure, Button will probably have to come into the pits, but he might be someone to watch out for. I'm down in 7th place, ahead of Sebastian Vettel, behind Nico Rosberg, that's a real concern. Actually, behind Sebastian Vettel now. So I'm ahead of Hamilton, but behind Vettel. I mean, this race really has derailed. Vettel took pole position, he's in 7th. Hamilton in the Mercedes is 8th. Rosberg's only in 6th. Who would have expected Bottas to win the Grand Prix? Jenson Button is 2nd. He is going to have to pit, but he'll probably emerge out right near me. Verstappen and Ricciardo, they really have played this race beautifully. In 2nd and 3rd, essentially. So, I mean, this race, my word. But Lewis Hamilton, right up behind, he won't let us go. I mean, we're on the soft tyres, he's on the medium tyres. We couldn't care about that. That is Jenson Button coming out of the pit. Sebastian Vettel just ahead, and as you can see, Lewis Hamilton's overtaken me. He's on the less grippy tyres, but the problem is once again, this constant battling with a Mercedes driver means we're not going to catch up to the guy ahead. We couldn't catch up to Ricciardo in the previous stint. We're not going to catch up to Vettel here unless we can permanently stay ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and we've just about been able to do that. Yet we've retaken the position from Lewis Hamilton. Button a few seconds behind, but Valtteri Bottas in the pits? That's a surprise. I didn't think he needed to come into the pits. I mean, he's miles ahead, but he could lose the race lead. He could come down to 3rd place, maybe 4th. I mean, Bottas, he's got a massive race lead. We saw even by lap 3, he was miles ahead of everyone. But that is Max Verstappen, who's taken the race lead off of Bottas. Now that is a concern. I mean, for the Constructors' Championship, I wasn't doing Williams many favours. Bottas was. But now he's in 2nd. He's on the super soft tyres. Verstappen's on the mediums. Does Bottas have the underlying pace? That's what we're going to have to hope for, because I don't have the underlying pace in my car. Lewis Hamilton once again trying to make a move and battling lap after lap after lap. Vettel, probably slightly quicker than him, but not when we've got to contend with Lewis Hamilton every lap. I mean, he's once again got past us, but I think once again we're going to dive it up the inside of him, retake 5th place from Lewis Hamilton. But he's on the medium tyres. We should be pulling away from him, but we just can't. Because, I mean, the setup I'm using is TRL Limitless's setup. 2 wings. Probably a bit of a mistake, a bit too little downforce. Jenson Button, the dark horse in this Grand Prix, he really has come into play. He's on the super soft tyres, he's looking pretty quick. He's using the DRS and slipstream to make up for the lack of Honda power. And going into the Sky Chicane, Hamilton has gone out wide, and Jenson Button in the McLaren Honda has overtaken Hamilton in the Mercedes. What a surprise. I mean, this race really is a tale of the underdogs. Hamilton being passed by Jenson Button. Verstappen at Monza with a Renault engine leading the Grand Prix, but I think Bottas is going to retake first place from Max Verstappen, and yes, he has on his super soft tyres. That was a bit of a concern for a few laps, but fortunately for Frank Williams and Claire Williams and all the Williams team, Bottas has retaken first place. That's good, because that was really heart in the mouth stuff there. So, good in the Constructors' Championship. Drivers' Championship, from my perspective, well, things aren't looking too good. Rosberg's ahead, Hamilton's just behind, Button's past me, and it looks like we've been forced out wide. Hamilton, he's given us a taste of our own medicine, and that's also cost us a place to Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo also came into the pits. I don't think he needed to. Ricciardo was in a beautiful position this Grand Prix. He's now down in 7th. I mean, we're down in 8th. Fundamentally, this Grand Prix has been a disappointment. Look at that, going at the exit of Parabolica, Button and Hamilton are already miles ahead. Button's on the super soft tyres, Hamilton's just plainly quicker. Ricciardo's actually pulling out ahead, but we got DRS heading into the Rettifilio chicane. Surely we're not going to make a move. Well, we're going to try it, because Ricciardo is held up by Button, but we have lost a bit of our front wing on the back of Jenson Button's car. That has completely destroyed any chance of passing Button or Hamilton. They're going to just go off into the sunset on the last lap. I mean, we've got a sizable chunk of our car missing. But Valtteri Bottas is going to win the Italian Grand Prix. Unbelievable stuff. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, where did he qualify? 3rd? Both Ferraris I thought were going to easily take the win. They haven't. It's been a disappointment for the Tifosi, a disappointment for me. I'm going to finish in 7th place.
I hope we can do better than that at the next race. Not our best day by any means.
Do you know what? I think the engineer just summed it up there. I think the setup was wrong. You can't blame it on the car because Bottas won. I think the only person who had a more disappointing day than me, quite honestly, was Kimi Räikkönen, who didn't finish. Vettel, I don't know. Well, Vettel would have been just ahead of Hamilton. So I think Vettel was in 4th. He took pole position. That's a disappointment. Max Verstappen played this race beautifully. So did Rosberg. So I can't blame the race strategy, because Verstappen did the same thing as me, took 2nd. Bottas did Rosberg did a very similar thing as me, took 3rd. So, I mean, just generally, I just had no pace this Grand Prix. Honestly, what a disappointment. But Bottas from Verstappen, from Rosberg, Vettel, Hamilton, Button, myself, Ricciardo. Sainz actually took 9th. I mean, I think he qualified in 21st. So, there you go. But, what is there to say, really? I mean, Alonso in 15th, he could have scored a few points, but then he spun, obviously. Drivers' Championship, well, Rosberg scored 9 more points than me this Grand Prix, so he's only 20 behind. Hamilton is still there. Verstappen, increasingly, is getting closer. It looked like the championship was only between myself and both Mercedes drivers. Verstappen is increasingly getting there. He might actually be a championship contender if that form continues. Constructors' Championship, I mean, once again, Williams were there or thereabouts of Mercedes, but still a way off. But who knows, if Bottas can keep up those performances, if I can re-find my old form, we could beat Mercedes. But anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this episode, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time for the Singapore Grand Prix, which, considering the sort of car we got, I'm not really looking forward to. I mean, we didn't have enough downforce at Monza, so how on earth are we going to have enough downforce at Singapore? Well, who knows, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. So I'll see you then.